Everybody, welcome back for the grand finale of the Friday the 13th marathon. We've covered the entire series. We've covered 9 films up to now, and now we have the last 3. Quite frankly, these films are some of the more fun ones in the series. So last episode we saw that they kind of took a little bit of a dip when they lost a little bit of originality. The ideas were kind of spent, so they took a bit of a break. It was 9 years without any Friday the 13th films, which I think was a good thing. They needed to kind of let things cool down, because when they came back with a vengeance and brought some amazing ideas with them. So our last film we covered, Jason Goes to Hell. He went to hell, and it would be 9 years before we see another Friday the 13th movie. So what do you do when you have a successful franchise and you've done everything that you could possibly do? You just bring him to space. Yep, this movie is Jason in space. Fuck it. Jason in space. Jason X. This movie is as ridiculous as that idea seems. The film starts off at the Crystal Lake Research Facility in the year 2008. Yep, the far future of 2008. Jason's put on trial for all the murders he's done throughout his whole career, and they attempt to execute him, but they just can't. He's indestructible, he won't die no matter what they do. So the researchers decide to cryogenically freeze him and put him in a capsule and just kind of freeze him, leave him there. He can't hurt anyone anymore.
Cryogenic breach. Emergency lockdown.
Oh God, no!
We then pick up at the year 2455, way into the future. A group of archaeologists go to Earth and they stumble upon the Crystal Lake Research Facility and find Jason's frozen body. What's hilarious here is that Jason isn't even alive and he starts fucking people up already.
Oh shit! I forgot my arm.
Yeah, here you go, dumbass.
And then, as you might expect, one of the super hot scientists gets laid and that brings Jason back to life. Yeah, that's all it takes. And then the craziness begins. And Jason does perform one of the coolest kills in the entire franchise. It looks like something Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat would do to someone. There's some fun scenes in here. There's a scene where a bunch of the crew members are in a simulation and Jason enters the room and kills them in the simulation and then ends up killing them in real life. It was some kind of VR game, and it was kind of a cool scene. And I think at one point they casually referenced something from Doom. The one guy asked if they have a BFG in the base, just casually asked about it.
You got a BFG? You're with me.
There's also a scene where they recreate a Crystal Lake simulation for Jason with 2 hot babes, and they recreate that sleeping bag kill, and it's really excessive and over the top this time, and it's extra awesome because it's just so over the top.
Hey, you want a beer?
Or do you want to smoke some pot?
Or we can have premarital sex.
Eventually, after he's killed a bunch of the crew, he faces off against this android girl, and she just destroys Jason. However, he is regenerated and reformed as Uber Jason. He has this really cool, sleek, futuristic look. He kind of looks like Super Shredder from Ninja Turtles or like Mecha Jason. He's super cool, and it fits the space setting. It's just so ridiculous.
You guys might want to run.
And that's what I could really say about this movie, is that it's over the top, it's super fun, it's so silly, and it is what it is. It's Jason in outer space. It sure is a good time, and I really, really recommend watching this one. So, next up, we had one that was hinted at back in Jason Goes to Hell. At the end of that movie, we saw Freddy pull Jason's mask beneath the surface to hell. That brings us to Freddy vs. Jason. And all I really have to say about this movie is that it delivers on everything it promises. It was 10 years since they made that tease, and the wait was completely worth it. This is easily one of the best versus movies of all time. So the basic plot in this one is that years go by and people start forgetting about Freddy, and his powers start weakening because people don't believe in him anymore. So he disguises himself as Mrs. Voorhees and gets Jason to go on a complete psycho rampage, start killing people, leads them from Crystal Lake to Elm Street just to kill tons and tons of teenagers to make them fear again. So Jason generates the fear, and Freddy feeds off that and starts to restore his powers. However, Freddy gets really pissed off because Jason starts stealing all of his victims.
She's mine! Mine! Mine!
It wasn't the best partnership. So then they fight, and goddamn, it is awesome. Freddy and Jason have tons of fights throughout the whole movie and absolutely beat the shit out of each other. It's so brutal and so gory. It's so satisfying to watch, and all the hits are so satisfying. It's just, the fights get you so amped. It's awesome. It really does feel like these two horror titans colliding in this giant battle. It's so cool. One very cool detail in this film is that they establish both characters' weaknesses. Jason, having drowned in the lake, his weakness is water. And Freddy, having been burned alive, his weakness is fire. So you have this water element and fire colliding. And Freddy is stronger in the dream realm, whereas Jason has more power in the real world. So it kind of balances it out, and no character feels overpowered over the other. The power shifts back and forth, and it feels like they're very balanced in this fight, and it does create great situations for both characters. And artistically, the film utilizes this very well. A lot of the scenes you see Jason, they color the scenes with a bluish hue, a lot more cool colors, whereas Freddy, they use a lot of reds and it's a lot warmer. So you get that balance between the water, the fire, the dream world, the real world, and it clashes really well, and it makes the film really nice to look at. And as a good versus movie does, it ends on a note where either or could have won. Jason emerges from the lake with Freddy's severed head, and Freddy just winks into the camera. You know, it's like it's one of those things where you got to see them fight, you got to see them beat the hell out of each other, and you got to see them pretty much dismember each other, and it's a really satisfying ending. There was a planned ending that was never filmed where chains would emerge from the ground and pull them both into hell. And standing there would have been Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. And he just says,
"Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?"
And this would set up another versus movie between Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, which I really think needs to happen. These versus movies are so awesome and they make so much money. I don't know why there's not more versus movies. We seriously need more versus movies. Goddamn. And last but definitely not least, we have 2009's Friday the 13th. Now, it's one of those weird situations where they name it the same thing as the first movie, and it's kind of like a reboot, but it doesn't follow the same plot at all. So it's not a remake of the first one, it's more of a reboot. But people always refer to it as the 2009 remake. But it's probably better suited as a reboot. They should have just called it something else, because now it's confusing. Or most people know it as Friday the 13th 2009 version. Yeah. So something you'll notice with these New Line Cinema films is that they have very high budgets and they're really well produced. So the look of this film is really, really nice. There's a lot of really good shots, the atmosphere's there, and after all these crazy sequels, it feels good just to be back in the forest again. Something simple. This one has a lot of the same elements as the other films, with stupid teenagers doing stupid things, being terrible people.
What the fuck? What is this? No! No!
And it does star Sam from the TV show Supernatural, which is pretty cool. He's our main sympathetic character. His sister went missing at Crystal Lake and now he's trying to find her. It's a really sympathetic character and it's kind of cool for once to have a character that you may be familiar with. He's a really strong lead and you definitely root for him and he's very capable, and it's definitely a change for the series to have a main hero type character that you actually care about.
Clay. Yeah, of course I remember Clay. Why is he in my house?
Hey, new guy. Beer?
No. He's got to get going. You got flyers to pass out, right?
Yeah.
Look, if you're hungry, we...
Okay. Look, Clay, obviously, she's just trying to be nice, but you can't stay here. No offense, but this is a private party. I don't know you.
No, you don't know me.
That's so funny. I just said that. Like 2 seconds ago, that I don't know you. I would probably leave soon before I get pissed off and,
Yeah?
yeah.
What happens then?
Hey, look, take it...
I really think he did a good job. As far as the kills go, they're super simple, but they're very effective. Because the way the film's shot and the way Jason looks in this film, it has a lot of intensity to it, and your imagination fills in a lot of the gaps.
Winnie! Winnie, help! Winnie, please! Help! Winnie! Winnie!
And Jason's look. He has a great look in this movie. I love the way he looks. He goes through a lot of cool progression. You get to see him without the mask, you get to see him with the sack on his head, and then you see him with the hockey mask. So it's pretty perfect, and I really, really enjoyed his look in this one. I really like 2009 Jason. He had a really good look, he looked good on camera, and it just gives you that warm feeling seeing Jason on camera again. It's just that familiar character that you see, and it just makes you happy. The The movie is overall really entertaining, and it doesn't do anything too crazy. I mean, but which is, I think, a good thing in this case, because we had some crazy sequels before this, so it was kind of a return to form. Just get Jason in the woods, bring things back down, like make the kill simplistic. There's some suspenseful moments, so I actually really enjoy this for what it is. And it wouldn't be a Friday the 13th movie without a cheap jump scare ending. So we made it to the end of the marathon. At this point in time, the series has been put on hold. There's a furious court battle going on over who owns the original rights to the series. There's a good chance we'll finally get to see a 13th Friday the 13th film. I mean, we can only hope. These films are so important in all their craziness and all their insanity. I mean, they made 12 of these films. And no matter what's going on in my life, I can put one of these films on and just escape into a world, into an era where an 80s horror movie monster is a hero to the people. So sincerely, thank you all who stuck through the whole marathon to the end. And remember...
Hey, it's alright, it's alright. It's alright. Everything's over now. Everything's over now. Your folks are on the way up.
Are there any movies left? Did I watch them all?
Yes, sir. 2 of my men pulled you out of the set. I thought you were dead. Do you remember much?
The boy. The boy, Jason. What happened to him?
Jason?
In the theater, I watched every movie, and then Jason, he attacked me.
We didn't find any huge bald guy.
And he's still out there.